Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the OS Catch World Cup 2025. We are here with another stream, the second stream of this year's edition for the qualifier results. Very, very exciting and anticipated. And the round of 32 Mappool Showcase right after. I am Maito, and I am joined here by Real Nas and Hypnospiro. How are you going?
Hey.
Hello.
Doing well. Very, very excited for this one. I think we have this year a very exciting CWC ahead of us. Many stacked teams, many teams who were not here the previous years, who made a team this year. We have way more participants than usual. So these qualifiers have been, a big battle for everyone to just get in the top 32. So we have a lot to cover on these reveals.
Yeah, it's very exciting. A lot of big names coming back and a lot of big names staying, so should be a very, very entertaining tournament. But we have the qualifier results before we get into the actual tournament.
Yep,
we sure do. And I think we're going to be jumping into that in just a second here to see. I assume the first team down the bottom, unfortunately, is going to be Ukraine here.
Yeah, Ukraine will be last place this year in these qualifiers. For these teams, you're just happy that they were able to make a team, simply. I believe Ukraine hasn't really had a team in the past 2 years yet. Their last participation was in 2022. So just the fact that they were able to make a team and be there for the qualifiers is an accomplishment in itself, I believe. So congrats to them. They did not make it this year, but it's good on them for trying.
Yeah, there are a lot of bigger Ukrainian names missing from this team that they would have liked, but as you said, it's great to have seen them here and that they actually made a team. Not everyone has been able to.
Yep, for sure. And amazing to see, Seed 44, we have so many more teams than last year. It's just great to see so many people trying out this year. But that will be our first team as we move on to the next one here. It's going to be Switzerland. I guess we'll move through these a little faster, as it's unfortunate to but they are quite a little far down. But another team here who tried their best, but wasn't quite enough.
Yeah, a mix of not having a full team and their best players not being in the best environments to play. But
that
just
is
like
very
great to see them.
If you know with this one, I think there was a marriage honeymoon situation going on with some of the people playing for this one, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, Internet Cafe in Curacao, I believe.
Wild stuff.
Good on them.
yeah.
So I think we can be moving on to see the 42 then, which is going to be Lithuania.
Yeah, and it's another 5-man team, not a full squad. Seeing them get top 40 though on Hard Rock 1, so some bright lights here, but unfortunately not higher than 42 this year.
Yeah, and I believe it's Lithuania's first participation in CWC, so congrats to them for having a roster. Maybe the scene in the country will grow a bit. They already have some decent 3G players, but maybe over the years it can improve. But it's good on them for having a team already. But that's 42 for this year. And we'll be moving on to 41 then.
Yeah.
Which is Bulgaria. Placed 35 last year. Slipped down a little this year, not able to quite man up the same. Few good signs. Nice score on No Mod 3 and other hiddens. I feel like as we continue on, those hiddens may play quite a part in seeing some teams boosted up or not. So maybe a little bit of foreshadowing there, but Bulgaria at our 41 place here. Man, we have to go through so many before we can even get get to the actual qualifiers.
Small note about Bulgaria. Last year they were essentially last place in qualifiers. Not technically last, but there was a team that did not participate behind. So they were essentially last. So them not being last this year is improvement compared to last year, even if the placing is a bit lower because of the number of teams. But congrats to them still for improving.
Yeah. Completely agree. And I think we can move on to seed 40 here, which is going to be Portugal. The first 6-man team, I believe, that we see here.
Yeah, and it's good seeing them again, because same as several of these teams, it's a country that did not really have a team for the past 2 years. It's only their third participation, so it's good that they are able to just have 6 players and form an entire roster, even though last year and the 2 years prior they did not even have a team. So good on them, but not this year.
Yep, and that will be Portugal moving on to the 39th seed. Will be Latvia, who did qualify last year, I believe, which was pretty impressive. Not quite able to do the same this year. The competition, the amount of effort put in from just so many people has really risen the bar, and Latvia fortunately not able to do that, but some nice scores, especially those hiddens.
Definitely some nice scores, and Latvia missing some of their big names in Seltusha and Saruki definitely plays a part as well, but as you said, the competition is stronger this year, and that is showing in a lot of teams here. Latvia, no less.
Yeah.
Yep.
So moving on to seed 38 then. It's going to be Estonia. Their neighbors, and yeah, last year they did wait, I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, last year they were seed 32 exactly. They barely made it this year, as you said, with the fiercer competition essentially, and just many more teams. A lot of these lower seed teams just cannot really get to the 32 bar, and that's going to be the case for Estonia. Still a 6-man roster. They have players improving and who are being seen more and more in the community. We're seeing some of these names a bit more, which is very nice, but still just too much competition this year. They're not really able to make it.
Yeah, it is unfortunate, but it is great seeing them back to at least participate once more, as I think we can move on to seed 37, and it's going to be Greece.
Yeah,
Yep, Greece. Yeah,
go ahead.
they didn't.
I believe
have a
it's
team
Greece's
last year?
first participation ever in Catch World Cup.
Oh, really? Wow, that is impressive that they were able to get a team here. Of course, again, really cool to see so many countries be able to actually make teams and really try their best. So awesome to see that participation, but it means that so many more people miss out, unfortunately, and that is the case with Greece here.
Yeah.
Good signs, a really nice DT1 score, actually, placing 27th there.
I was going to point out the DT1, a bright light in their scores as well.
Yeah, we're starting to see some decent scores, because like 2.5 mil means like higher than 800k average, which is actually good for a team that did not qualify. So yeah, it just goes to show, even with the harder qualifier pool, it just goes to show how fierce the competition is this year.
For sure.
But
and we'll
yeah,
move on,
Absolutely.
I believe, to the 36th seed here, getting close to the actual qualifiers. That's going to be the Philippines, who qualified a lot higher last year at 21, but weren't able to quite do the same, of course. I believe losing a few players, right?
I mean, Philippines ever since losing, their core roster, it's been harder. But even then, they've lost their carry, I believe, last year, who was Liam GG's. even Mawile, who had been playing well. So some lost players, and it shows in the results, unfortunately. But yeah, only with 4 players, still decent performance from them. Hoping to see them improve again next year. Hopefully for the qualification, maybe.
Yeah, strong country. Definitely have the prospects to do well in further years, but not to be this year as we move on to the 35th seed, which is going to be New Zealand, who do not qualify like they did last year. They were 28th, I believe. Hurts me a little. I'm pretty close with these guys. They tried their best, but they did do a little bit of trolling, but really nice hidden scores, it has to be said.
Yeah, for sure. The hidden scores here are very good, especially that hidden 2. And it is a shame to see them not qualify this year, but I mean, again, it's just a testament to how strong the entire playing field is this year.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been qualifying with pretty much the same roster for the past 2 years, I believe. And this year, don't quite make it. We're getting very close to qualifying teams, but it hurts even more for the teams that are just so close to that 32 mark.
Yeah, it's painful. It's painful getting so close, but not quite enough. And the pain is going to ramp up for each new country here. Who's at the 34th place? I wonder. Going to be Thailand.
It is going to be Thailand. Missing players like ECS, one of the notable names here, and not qualifying like they did last year. That's a repeating pattern here with the lower seeded teams not making it another year. But here we see more consistent scores from them. Nothing that really stands out as much. Maybe the hidden 2. The more so consistency here, but it's not going to be enough this year.
Yeah, they even managed to win a game last year, but not qualifying this year. Unfortunate, but this is how it is in CWC 2025.
Yep,
and
doing well.
Yeah, still doing well, but we'll be going to see 33, the last one's not
Oh
qualifying.
no. Who's it going to be?
Yeah.
It hurts.
It's Malaysia, barely missing out at the 33rd place. Oh no. What a tragedy here for all of the Malaysian believers, not quite making it really, really close, but just missing out by a single spot.
Yeah, and it is a shame we see because this team has some newer names not used to the scene, and you have to say, considering it's their first Catfield Cup, getting this close, while it does hurt, it is still quite impressive to get this close. But yeah, it's not going to be enough this year.
Which means that we're moving on to see who qualifies first here. Who sniped Malaysia away? It's South Korea. Oh wow!
Yeah.
What a turnaround! I mean, obviously South Korea's team is much different than previous years, but it's kind of a shock to see them all the way at the 32nd place when they've been so dominant for so long in previous years.
100%. This is not the South Korea that we are used to seeing, but even with the team you see here, might be a little bit surprising that they are 32nd, but alas, they have qualified.
Yeah, I'm just really happy for these guys because there was a lot of pressure around, these newcomers in the South Korea scene, not wanting to participate. They were having very few registrations for the past years because, the environment, how having to play when you're playing for an historic team that's been the best always. But they have a six-man roster this year, and I'm very proud of them for just being able to go out there and play for the country because it's not been the case last year, so very happy for them.
Yep, well done to them. Lots of pressure, and they've done well to come in at 32nd as we move on to the next place here. Seed number 31, it is going to be Israel, and fun fact about this one, they played their qualifier lobby pretty much a day after the showcase, after the maps were revealed. So a pretty impressive effort here to seed with a 4-man team as well.
Yeah, having 1 day of practice on a 4-man team, qualifying is very, very impressive, it has to be said. Qualifying in 31st.
Yeah, and I think we'll be moving on to seed 30 then. And it's going to be Norway. Norway at seed 30 this year, a bit lower than what we're used to for this team. But they still made it with the fierce competition. It's already a great accomplishment. You can start to see some very nice scores we haven't mentioned, but on Nomad, the scores are really getting up there. Even at around seed 30, you have 2.7 mil on Nomad 1, which is very impressive for these lower seed teams.
Yeah, that's a great score.
Yeah.
Honestly, to see there. Very, very impressive. Those Nomads being super consistent here for Norway. Of course, having a bit of an underperformance compared to last year, but I think having quite a bit of a different team actually. So it's not surprising to see still doing well, and that's our 30th seed. On to number 29.
And there we go,
It's
Iceland, seed 29 every year. No, not every year. Since last year, it's been, the big surprise of every year. Team Iceland, the whole community is rooting for them pretty much. And they made it again this year, despite such intense competition to qualify. They still made it at seed 29, not barely qualifying, but still, pretty deep in there. And it's just great to see for these guys.
Yeah, for sure. Some good friends on the team here for me, and I'm so happy for this team qualifying in 29th. Gonna be so much fun to see them in this tournament this year.
Yeah, it's even better than their seeding last year, despite having way more teams. Yeah, by 1 spot. So huge congrats to them. They've been improving, and very excited to see them perform. Even in bracket, they have a chance to get a match, I guess.
Absolutely. And we move on now to the next seed here. It is going to be Denmark. Wow, 3 Nordic countries in a row here.
Yeah.
Norway, Iceland, and Denmark. The Nords are showing out in this lower half of the qualifiers. Getting in here. Right on to Denmark here. Qualifying with some really nice scores. Especially on that Nomad 3 and Hidden 1.
Yeah, definitely a very, very nice seed for them this year. And I think it really shows that despite the lack of experience in some of the players, they're still performing well. And I'm once again very excited to see my neighbors down south compete this year.
Yeah, and that's going to be seed 28. Going to seed 27 next is going to be Brazil, a team that did not have a team last year. But still, they made it this year. They are a team with several names that you very much can recognize. And it's great to see them back, just being able to qualify again.
Yep, absolutely. They were absent last year, of course, as you mentioned. Back here again to fight out in this Catch World Cup and doing well to qualify here as well. Having quite a few of their good kind of OG players back, like Predominator, Konohana, Lucia, and Overdose as well, to name a few. So well done to them as we move on to the 26th seed, and that's going to be Vietnam here.
Yeah, showing off their the 2-man core they have in Stardust, Prism, and Shu. Definitely coming into play here. Very impressive getting 2016 as a 5-man team. And especially like the Nomads and DTs. And even the Hard Rocks there showing consistent scores. Very, very nice here.
Yeah, pretty well rounded, and it's been kind of the same core roster for Vietnam with Stardust, Prism, Shu, Mother Nature, players who have played several CWCs. But still managing every year to be fairly consistent in their performances, so it's very nice to see. But yeah, congrats to them. Moving on to see the 25 next. And it's going to be Turkey.
Yep. Turkey back here in the Catch World Cup once again. I believe last year. Seeding at the 27th place, so improving a little bit on their performance from last year. With some nice scores, especially Hard Rock. Really good Hard Rock scores there, 22nd and 23rd, as well as DT. So definitely a team to watch out for those. Hidden's falling a little behind, but still a nice performance here from this Turkey team.
Yeah. I would say it's a team that can probably punch a bit above their weight class, because you look at their scores and it's really just HD holding them back. I guess it's going to be the case for several teams, but still to note, very good performances, and the seed could have been higher without those HD performances, but it is how it is.
Definitely. It's going to be very interesting to see them in the first match, and I think we can move on to seed 24. And that's going to be Spain.
Yeah, Spain qualifying again this year. They've been qualifying for the past 2 years, which is very nice to see. Last year they even managed to win a game in bracket. Because to be fair, they have a very solid core roster. They really haven't lost any of their core players. It's mainly Sprint, Alipe being able to play a lot of stuff, and then third player always being a very nice feel for the team. And they managed to play kind of everything. You can see the difference with teams like Turkey, who are a bit more, they have a clear weakness. Spain doesn't really have that. They're a bit more polyvalent, they can play everything, and it's definitely the type of team that's very scary to face in bracket. And we're entering the, kind of the stage of seedings where every team has the potential to win their first game in bracket. Maybe not their first game, no, but they have the potential to all win a game, I believe.
Yeah, 100%, and yeah, going to be a tough opponent to come up against here. Such a consistent team overall in terms of the mod pools. So showing off what they're made of at seed 24 as we jump ahead to the next country, which is going to be Hong Kong. An old giant back once again. They didn't team last year, but up yet again to the 23rd seed.
Yeah, Hong Kong is a team that has had their golden age around, from 2017 to 2021. They always placed very high. It was when they had players, like Auto LS playing, Auto Fanboy playing. Ever since then, it's been a bit harder for them. But this year, their roster is pretty exciting. You have Latifa Sama coming back, one of their core roster from back then. And another player I'm very excited for is Little Pig God, who is a player that I've seen play very well in tournament and even, in solo play. Very excited to see this roster in action, because I believe they can definitely perform very well, as you can see from some of their scores on the map simply.
Absolutely, and I should also point out, don't let the rank fool you on My Angel Auto. Very, very, very good player, who is going to be very important for this team. And with that, I think we can move on to seed 22. And it's going to be Australia.
Yep, Australia here, seeding 19th last year, 22nd this year. So a little bit of a fall, not too much. With a little bit of a different roster as well. Nene Sakura coming in for Beerus, I believe, in Telecrons. Not here as well. So a little bit of a swap out. Still a pretty solid team, especially on that hidden one you can see there. Their no mod 1 score being very solid, as well as Hardrock on DT2. So pretty well-rounded team overall, I would say, which may be a bit of a, no bias dark horse bracket, if I do so say myself. But we'll move on to the next seed here.
And it's going to be Taiwan qualifying at seed 21. Taiwan, who's a team that you're used to seeing around that middle seed, middle of the bracket. Always very consistent team in early rounds, and it's gonna be the same this year. Their seeding is a bit lower than usual. Last year was 15, 21 this year, which means that they're gonna have a bit of a tougher bracket, but still they're a team that absolutely has the potential to perform in early rounds, thanks to their consistency. But yeah, the roster is a bit different. I don't think it's much weaker than before. They still have their captain and carry, the Dodoebi, now renamed Oik, who's going to be very consistent throughout the whole tournament. But yeah, very solid team. Will be scary early rounds, and we have to see what they're able to do next.
Absolutely. And with that, I think we can move on to seed number 20. And it's going to be Singapore, who has Haeyang C2B back, among other big names here.
Yep.
Yeah.
They have improved a pretty significant amount. Last year, they had a heartbreak, missing out on the qualifiers by just one place, but they're back with a vengeance. Up all the way to seed 20 here with a really solid team. A few players coming in, like you said, Haeyang, which is a pretty crucial inclusion. And a player to look out for, McButt, as well, who is coming in for the first time, and one of the fastest improving players that I have seen. So it'll be interesting to see what this team can achieve.
Yeah, nice to see them again. And we'll be moving on to seed 19 then. And seed 19 is going to be China. A bit lower than last year, but still, it's a team that last year people didn't expect to be placed that high. But this team is surprisingly very, very solid at these mid-tournament pools. As you can see from the results in qualifiers, their scores are very solid pretty much all around. Can we talk also about the 2.9 mil being seed 17 on Nomad 1?
Yeah.
What are the Nomad 1 scores going to be at the top? I'm scared.
Yeah, I'm very, very interested in what that's going to look like. But what I want to say about China is that they are slowly climbing back to the days of old. While they're not quite there yet, they are showing great signs, and it's really fun to see them perform this well.
Yeah, they've lost Nene Sakura, who transferred to Australia, but still they're able to perform very well.
Yep.
A few newcomers, and it's
even seeding above Australia. Funnily enough.
Yep, that's true.
How the tables turn, you know. Pretty close seedings, those two teams. And speaking of seedings, I think we're ready to move on to the next one here. Number 18 will be Colombia, another team who didn't have players last year. They're back yet again with most of their core roster from years past, and honestly are looking really solid.
Yeah, definitely. They are showing a lot of well-roundedness here in the different scores. And once again, 5-man team doesn't seem to be holding them back that much. This 5-man team can do a job.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty surprising, honestly, seeing Colombia at seed 18 is very high, especially given the competition. And like, for a fun fact, Colombia hasn't won a game in CWC since the first ever CWC in 2012. Always been either out in groups or, you know, out 0-2 in brackets. So seeing them that high and performing that well is kind of crazy and an historical high for them.
Yep. Good chance to get that first dub. But I think we'll move on to seed 17, which is going to be Peru. Interestingly, they, I believe, last year, seeded number 10. So dropping down a little, still with quite a few strong players. and looking strong, especially that those Nomad scores. Nomad 1 and Nomad 3, wow. Number 8 and number 6.
Yeah, I was going to point that out. Those are very, very, very impressive scores. Definitely a team to look out for when it comes to the Nomads. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that since they are seed 17, they'll be playing against the next team, which is seed 16.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, so we're going to have the first confirmed matchup after this. But yeah, those Nomad scores, definitely something to look out for. And I think we can move on to seed 16, which is going to be Sweden. My boys back home here.
All right, we have Peru versus Sweden confirmed. That is the very first matchup, which I think is honestly pretty scary. Going to be an absolute cinema of matchup, I think. But talking about this Swedish team, maybe I should let you, Hypno.
Yeah, so what we can see here is the hiddens here are getting quite strong. Sweden, we do have a lot of good hidden players showing there with the hidden 1, seed 8, and also the convert Nomad 3, seed 10 there. And just the consistency maps is what we're doing it on. And I'm so excited, but also very nervous to see the Sweden versus Peru match. Gonna be very fun, but I'm proud of my boys getting seed 16 there.
Yeah, and I think they have the potential this year to top 16 in placings. Last year was top 24. Definitely a very solid team in the early rounds, especially very consistent. The Nordic consistency as usual. And yeah, that's going to be nice to see. Going next to seed 15. It's going to be Mexico in seed 15 with a lot of old players from years past coming back to Mexico, like Daxros, like Cowboy. These players that were not here last year are making a comeback, and you can see it in their place, in the seeding. Just a bit better than last year, which was 17. They're ready to compete again at their best level, I believe.
Yep, 100%. They had a really, really nice run a couple of years ago. I believe in 2019 they got 4th, and a lot of those core players, as you mentioned, here back again, and I think, obviously not all of them, but I think they're going to do pretty well. A little bit of an improvement over their seeding of last year too, so excited to see what Mexico can bring as we move on to seed 14. Just going to be Belgium. Finally, we have Belgium. We had Quinton desperately waiting to see where his Belgians were going to place, and here they are, consistent seeding 2 years in a row.
Yeah, Belgium going to be playing against China. Going to be a great matchup to see in the first round there. And this is a very solid seed to see from this team. Once again, five-player team. Having lost some players, but are not going to let that stop them. Looking at those Nomad scores, Nomad 1 and Nomad 2, very impressive.
Yo, yeah, that Nomad 1 score is crazy. It's close to 3 FCs, actually. But, yeah, very impressive stuff. Belgium, you would say that their roster got a bit weaker, losing Cake Noob and Kofu, I believe, who were very important players to the roster, but still, it looks like from these qualifier results that they will be able to perform pretty much as well as last year. Because Asia keeps improving. Jesse is still a phenomenal tournament player in Elskefe as well. So will be an extremely scary team up till mid-tournament.
Yeah,
look out for, and excited to see them play.
Absolutely. As we move on to the 13th seed, it is going to be Germany. Germany back with a really strong team this year, improving quite a bit on their seeding from last time at number 18. Having a lot of really, really strong players here. And honestly, with this strong of a roster, it's kind of surprising to see them,
yeah,
at 13th. It just kind of shows the level this year
I mean,
even with those amazing players, this is
When
only
you look-
enough for the 13th seed.
yeah, when you look at the core roster of Marshmallow plus Lume, and it's only since 13, you have to wonder what is happening in that top 12, because that is an extremely strong duo, and they have as well very solid third players, so it's not really an issue of only having two players. They have two phenomenal players and good third players, and still only seed 13. I don't think it's them performing that bad, it's just the competition is very, very strong this year, really.
Absolutely,
So-
the competition is really strong, and that's being shown in the seed Germany gets here. And to move on to seed number 12, it's going to be Canada.
Whoa,
Wow.
that's a surprise.
That is interesting. Quite a drop down, of course, from last year. Seeding fourth, and now they're down to number 12. I am not sure what happened with this one, to be honest.
Yeah, I am not
honestly
either,
do not know.
because even if Canada is kind of known to choke in the World Cup, that's
Surely
a
not
bit,
on the qualifiers, right?
that's a bit more than usual. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like they're seed 12, but they have the potential of like a top 6 team. So the bracket is going to be very chaotic.
Yeah, it's going to be a round of 32 match between Canada and Taiwan, which is going to be
that's-
very, very interesting to see.
Yep, 100%. Not sure. Not sure what happened here, but Canada can for sure, I think, go farther than their seed. Not sure what happened entirely in their qualifiers. Obviously, you can see some really nice scores, of course, in their DT. They did lose Dex Makanor or Ymir, of course, but this team is still really strong as we move on to the 11th seed. And that is going to be the United Kingdom. They just keep getting better. 16th last year, all the way up to 11th now. And look at those Hard Rock scores. And no mod.
Yeah,
Wow.
very impressive. The UK is one of the fastest growing communities in catch, I believe, right now. Really, a lot of motion going on out there, and it reflects. It's reflected in the seeding this year, improving every year, even in the placements. Like 3 years ago, they didn't win a single match. Then 2 years ago, they won a match. Then last year they got top 16. What's happening this year? Maybe they can go for top 12. I mean, their seeding suggests that. And their roster also reflects that every one of their players pretty much is improving every year and have a lot of potential. All the players coming back and putting in the work, like Fab Ninja, that we haven't seen since like 2019, coming back and playing and grinding the game again and really helping the UK. It's very nice to see the UK back at their full power.
Yeah, the United Kingdom are working really, really hard, and it's being shown. And as you say, Fab Ninja coming back after all these years, and players like Nathaniel, one of the fastest improving players in Cash to Beat. It's going to be very, very exciting to see them take on this tournament, and I think we're ready to move into the top 10.
Yep. We're almost at the single digits, running out. The doubles is going to be Poland. Here. Not sure why it says NA, to be honest. They definitely did play last year. They seeded second, and of course, losing some very cool players here in Trigon and Fob. So falling a little down, but this is still a very, very solid result.
Absolutely. Despite losing Trigon and Fob, it's getting C10 in a Capital Cup as stacked as this year's. That's still very, very impressive. And we see that in just very, very consistent placements on the maps.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Poland's a very active community. Despite losing like their top 2 players by quite a lot, they still managed to top 10 seed in a very stacked year, which is great to see. We'll have to see how they perform in the tournament, but I do believe they have a lot of potential to maybe get a bit higher than what their seeding suggests. It will be very interesting to see. It's not full force Poland, but it's definitely still a very strong Poland.
Yes, indeed.
100%.
And with that, I think we can move into the single digits here. Seed 9, and that's going to be Chile.
Wow.
Yep, Chile falling down a little here. A little surprisingly, another team that on paper looks pretty terrifying, to be honest. To be fair, losing two pretty important players in Smoker and Taemin from last year. So a little bit of a nerf to Chile, but still a really, really strong team. Pretty solid results overall. No real weaknesses. Maybe getting trolled a little by that No Mod 1 where so many scores were really packed in, and even like a 10k improvement might be a couple of places above. So it's kind of interesting to see how much No Mod 1 has kind of influenced
Yeah.
the placings so far, but another strong team to look out for here in Chile.
And also, still, despite the seeding, a contender for top 6 this year, I would say again. It's just maybe a small misstep here on the qualifiers, but they do absolutely still have the core roster to go very far in the tournament, despite their losses. So, look out for them. They're going to be here for a while. But moving on to the top 8 seeding, final 8, and it's going to be Japan first at seed 8.
Yeah, and I think it's very fun to see Japan this high up with their core of Molkas, Sawarabi, and SBK. And I mean, look at the hidden one there, seed 3 and seed 5 on the DT2. Very impressive scores here.
Yep, absolutely. And we have Senko Hanabi, who I don't believe has been in since 2017 in this Japanese roster. So
Yeah.
jumping in after a very long 8-year break, and Japan, another team which has seeded the exact same that they did last year, seeding 8th, and they're 8th once again with some good scores to show for it all around.
Yeah. They're
So we move
absolutely
on.
one of the. I was gonna say a word just about Japan. There's,
My bad.
I would say, no, don't worry. I think they're one of the scariest mid-tournament teams. You might think of, just Sawarabi newcomer, but still top 40, so obviously gonna be very important to the roster. Molkus every year putting out insane performances up till semifinals. Senko Hanabi, people don't really remember that person, but Senko Hanabi won the Japanese tournament, the last Japanese tournament, and he's a pretty insane player, so the whole roster, I would say, got a bit stronger, and I'm very excited to see these guys play.
Yep, absolutely. As we now move on to the 7th seed, and it is indeed going to be Indonesia. We are really, really ramping up with the teams here. Indonesia, of course, I believe last year placing 13th and having a much stronger showing this time at 7th, jumping way up into the top 7 with a super strong core roster, of course, with Netamaru, Kreneko, Pan, Minang as well. I mean, this is a terrifying team, to be honest.
Yeah, this is one team where, you might see one or two outstanding players, but it's hard to mention one without mentioning the rest of the team here. Sphinx and Madoka absolutely doing a job on maps as well here. I completely agree with you. This is a terrifying team to have to go up against. You do not know what they're going to do in match. Very impressive scores.
Yeah, very nice seeing some of their players come back. But we'll be moving on to seed 6, who is going to be Finland. Who was top 6 last year in placings.
Yep. And top
this
3 in
year-
seeding.
Yeah, top 3 in the seeding. Was a very terrifying team that just did not quite manage to scale that well with the end game pools, but extremely scary team still throughout the whole tournament. Otherwise, they have essentially the same roster as last year. Their players have been improving, and just following with the overall tendency of everyone here. Just everyone keeps improving, and they're at their strongest right now, I believe. Will be interesting to see them perform.
Yeah, did we notice the seed 1 on Noma 2 and Noma 3?
Wow.
I did. I was going to mention that is very, very, very impressive and a little terrifying, to be honest, to see those 2 scores. Honestly, could have seeded higher again, maybe if they could have just improved that Nomad 1 a little more, but of course that was a hotly contested map, which has maybe pushed them down just a little. But yeah, super strong roster, very, very nice team, and we move on to the 5th seed, getting close to the top now, and it is going to be France here. They are back yet again, Realmas.
Yeah, France. I mean, if you followed a bit of what happened in France the last 2 years in CWC, they weren't so great because most of our top players were not participating. But this year we have pretty much not our strongest possible roster, but a very, very solid roster. Obviously, Tobas coming back to play this year. Electro has been improving a tremendous amount in the past years, especially this year. And I mean, the concern has been France's 3rd player, but I will say do not underestimate the other 4 players on the roster. They're very, very strong. Look out for them because I think this year France has the potential. I mean, like every team in the top 6 pretty much has the potential to go very far in the tournament and even cause some upsets against higher seeded teams.
Absolutely. We see a very consistent seeding here on the maps and a very exciting team, seeing some big names come back. And I think we can move on to the top 4 now.
Yep. We're really getting up there.
It's going to be Italy. Italy is back with a vengeance.
Yeah, absolutely. They here the 79 team minus A40, we can just split that little bit out, but yeah. Italy, they're here once again to show what they are made of. Had a fantastic team in 2023, of course, as we all know, making it to the podium that year and almost having kind of all of that core roster back, minus Noza. But this seeding shows that they're still here to fight out at the top and just super consistent across every map, pretty much as all of these top teams will at this rate. And yeah, it's good to see Italy back at their best.
Yeah, it's Italy, you know them, you know Kami plus Arma. It's just very, very nice to see them again. And once again, it's one of these teams, everything is possible with Italy pretty much. Especially before like finals, they can upset pretty much any team. I mean, upset, there's not many teams above them, but everything is possible. These guys don't miss. Super nice to see them again. It's going to be a great showing. But we'll be moving on to top 3. Only 3 teams remaining if you've been following. It's United States, Russia, and Argentina. But it's going to be Russia at seed 3.
Yeah, what a seeding placement. This is arguably, this is one of the most surprising, popularly surprising seedings we will see. And it is so great to see Russia seeding 3rd this year. And I mean, if you look at the team, it really doesn't have to be a surprise. Very, very, very good team.
Yep, absolutely. They have so many fantastic players, and they are a real force to be reckoned with this year. Those DT Saws, especially, looking real. We know how good of a DT team this is. I mean, they are double-time juggernauts who are going to be difficult to beat far into the tournament with Insomnia kind of at the helm. And what a placement for Russia here, doing superbly well.
Also, that's seed 1 on the Nomad 1, meaning that none of the top 2 teams got seed 1 on the Nomads. They've been taken, and that just shows the consistency as well of the Russian team.
Yeah, I mean, they have a very improved roster because Insomnia is back, especially for endgame scaling, which opens up many doors for Russia in the late tournament. And Cold Fusion has been improving. Nelly still as strong and consistent as ever. Kitsunavi as well. Kitsunavi, I will note, is ranked 4 in the players qualifiers with an average of like 983k per map, having played 13 maps. So it's a testament to how consistent that roster is, and some of these players are. That 3rd seed definitely deserved. We'll see how far they can go though, because the 3rd seed is very high. Can they place that high in the actual tournament? It's gonna be very interesting to follow. Very excited for these guys.
Yep. And we're almost at the top here now. The 2nd seed, drum roll please. It is going to be Argentina. They are back with their phenomenal roster. Seeded 7th last year, but of course made it all the way to Grand Finals, and they are back yet again with just an unbelievable roster here. They have so many strong players, and it's really, really exciting to see them back.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The big thing for Argentina has been, it's kind of always been 3rd player, even though Velperk is very good. There's been an issue on some of the more mechanical picks, and some of the DT picks as well, because Story doesn't really play DT. And in the end game, now they have Narcs, who's a newcomer, but Narcs has been a very underrated player for a long time, and seeing them play now for Argentina is very, very nice. Will be very interesting to see if that fills some of the gaps that Argentina had last year. I think this year they have the potential to go and reach for that 1st place, maybe against the seed 1 that we'll be talking about right next after that. But yeah, definitely they can take it all, I believe, this year.
They absolutely can, and this is an incredibly exciting roster to get to see as we move on to seed number 1, and it's going to be the US of A.
What a surprise. USA, they've done it again. They've seeded at that number 1 spot. They're back here. The OGs coming back maybe one last time. We're not sure. With, of course, a couple of new additions here, but still Sekre, Creeper, and Lexi, those big 3, putting in the work for many of these years, and they're here once again to try and prove that they are the best in the business. Every single map being at least top 3.
Yeah, absolutely. They're here to defend their title from last year. Will they be able to do it? This year is going to be a bit more challenging than last year because their roster got slightly weaker, losing players like Roswald, Colin, and Trent, replaced by the 47th, Elox, and Yeater. And Argentina also got a bit stronger, so it's going to be a fierce competition at the top. But they take qualifiers, at least, and we'll be excited to see if they can manage to get 2 in a row.
Yep.
It's going to be a great CWC.
Only time will tell, and we will see the United States in the round of 32 go up against South Korea.
Yeah.
If you would have asked me that
really
4 years ago, I would not have believed you. But here we are.
That really is something. That really is something, kind of a cruel twist of fate moment almost. I mean, yeah, that really is incredible. I wouldn't have believed you either. But it has happened, and yeah, this is just going to be such a great Catch World Cup. I'm honestly so excited. I've never been more excited for a tournament as I have for this one. But that will be it for the qualifiers seed reveal, as we hand over to some other casters for this wonderful map pool that our staff have put together.
Yeah, hello guys.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching the seed reveal, and please stick around for the round of 32 Mappool Showcase that's going to be handled by some other casters here.
Yeah, it's gonna be Fuhi and Connor, your usual duo. But for the seedings, thanks for having watched us and enjoy the showcase.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Round of 32 Mappool Showcase. Coming off the heels of our qualifier results, we can really see just how intense the competition is this year. There were so many more teams, we had to salute the fallen, and overall witness some amazing performances from some of our higher seeded teams. I am joined today by a first-time commentator, CTB Whitecat. Never before been here on the commentary desk. How are you today, Mr. CTB Whitecat?
How's it going, bro? Doing good. What's up, Connor?
Hey, man.
It ain't CTB Whitecat, bro. You know who it is.
Yep.
Classic Kanafuhi duo. Just like in, what, 2023, 2024?
Yeah, man, you've been here forever.
Connor's already clip farming, bro. Connor's already clip farming.
You changed your name.
Crazy.
That is not clip farming. Your name is CTB Whitecat. Look it up.
You know what's funny, too? I even unironically paid for it, bro.
Really?
I paid for the name change, yeah.
Hey, I'm sure that money's going into the prize pool, man. I'm sure of it.
Well, yeah, it's going into the hype of the prize pool as we go straight into this map pool, round of 32. Congrats to all the teams who qualified. Iceland, by the way, shout out to Iceland. I can't believe that they actually pulled through. And Russia, too. Russia top 3. I was completely not expecting that. That was completely taken back.
Yeah, you should have seen this guy in VC. Just, oh, Iceland. Oh, Iceland better make it. He was shaking the entire time, and then Iceland made it. So, yeah, huge shout out to Iceland. Now they can see what maps they have to perform on as we jump into No Mod 1. Alright, gonna be Lunatic Mirage, mapped by Archer. This is going to be kind of a new showcase for how we're going to be handling No Mod 1s this year. Generally, a lot of the songs we use are going to be a lot faster BPM-wise. And they are still going to be fitting of the standard that we've kind of showcased in qualifiers. But you can already see with the BPM hitting 211 in round of 32, it's going to be a map that you do have to keep up with quite a bit of one-off notes and plenty of soft 211 streams that you'll have to handle.
Yeah, one thing to point out is that it's already very similar BPM to No Mod 1. Although, like, you can already realize it's a lot less harsh on, like, the snaps. I don't know if that's just the style that Bunray usually does with a lot of the snappier high SV sliders, but there's a lot more flow here. Very apparent right off the bat.
You have to compensate it for a round of 32 beauties playing in the earlier stages. Gonna be our way to compensate while handling the higher BPM. This song's also banger! I love this song. I've been listening to it all week.
Yeah, that's on you, bro.
What? I'm not the only one.
I won't share my opinions on anything, bro. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, if I speak, I'm in big trouble.
Oh, okay. Okay. I appreciate your brutal honesty.
This song's terrible!
No!
I'm kidding.
Okay, thank you.
It's just because it's not a custom.
Oh, so that's what you're after. Osu Original Fanatic.
I don't know, yeah, is there any customs in this?
You know, that's not really for me to say. I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm going in completely blind.
Yeah, especially with that commentary you did to open us up there, that was pretty solid.
Yeah, fully improv.
Yeah, improv, that's genius.
Yeah.
Right off the heels, that's crazy. That's some insane diction.
Yeah, no, I saw the name with CTB Whitecat, and I didn't even know it was you, Mr. Fuhi, CTB. Cool kid.
I'm undercover.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the biggest, most straining pattern in this map is going to be the kind of hypered one-off notes into the anti-flow sliders. Can definitely be something that's a little easy to overdash. Definitely, or even underdash if you're just a little bit too slow given the high BPM. But Given the length and consistency of this map, it's pretty apparent what its purpose is meant to be. And we are going to treat that as such.
Yeah, definitely going to be the simplest Nomad 1, I'd assume. Surely it doesn't get easier than this, Connor, as we move forward, right?
Wow. CTB Whitecat with the knowledge.
Yeah.
He already knows.
What do you mean? What? Oh, wait. Yeah, you're right. All the star ratings. There's also what? There was a prediction that was started like 15 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah, that's
on
true.
Star ratings. I don't know. Cast your votes.
Above 5.5. Now, this is above 5.5.
So that's one. Yeah.
Yeah, we're...
2 more to go.
Now let's peek our Nomad 2. Potential contender. Oh, Nomad 2 is not. Now, we do have a Wangle Line song mapped by Malai. Island of Orchids. We did get permission to use this track. Thank you, Miss Wangle Line. And the background was done specifically by Wangle Line's cousin, who also did the background for the original and Duo Dash. So, really huge props to Malai for getting all the permissions so that he could map a Wangle Line track. As for the map itself, it's a slightly different direction regarding Nomad 2 in early stage, because we don't want to crank our Nomad 2 in such a dense, techie way. So we're going to see some kind of soft technical patterns with some turnarounds and some soft walks. And even some patterns like those, like the slider stairs, where you kind of have to dash through the slider and then turn around.
Oh, wow. Okay, we got these buzz sliders too.
And we got a few precision stacks here.
Yeah, that's reminds me of JBH. I don't know, was that 2022? He did something very similar. I don't know if it was qualifiers or not though, but yeah, these kind of like dragging precision stacks. They're very challenging though for the most part, I would say, because of all the precision you would need.
Yeah, very like, the stacks are very walkthrough. We have this rhythm change jumps right here as well. Nothing too crazy, but I believe the snapping is actually 1-5 for some of these. So it's just, yeah, just something to keep track of. Moving into some of these precision-based sliders as well.
Yeah, and one thing to point out is I'm very happy that it's Malai mapping this. I feel like this fits Malai really well. Like these like beginner stage, like I would call this like semi-tech. Doesn't feel like I'm kind of hardwired to say tech is like Gemzu Rusty, like the qualifier Nomad 2, but this is a really good like step back for round of 32. It's a lot more friendly for players, and I'm just happy to see Malai mapping in the big CWC 2025.
Yeah, seeing him back once again is really nice, and it's definitely very apparent to see his improvements as a mapper this year by comparing this custom to his one from last year. So this is definitely a different approach for our round of 32 Nomad 2 in reforms of how it's technical, but we still hope that you can get that enjoyment from something that isn't exactly the standard in this sense. Okay, moving on to Nomad 3. Gonna have Tranquility Resolve mapped by Jack Frost. Gonna be our Nomad 3 of the round. Having seen Nomad 2 and how it isn't the most symmetrical in its mapping, we did go with something, we did advise Mr. Jack Frost to go with something that is a bit more symmetrical aesthetically, and in terms of its playability requires a lot more dash control rather than movement control. So you're going to see that quite a bit with this map in terms of some of its stacks, and you will know the pattern when you see it.
Yeah, already these like these stacks here. What are these like? They look really strange. They look hard to play. Kind of looks like a really tight precision stack there.
Yeah, very soft in these stacks especially. They take a bit of learning. Yeah, they take a bit of learning, but I find dash control being a very effective way to learn how to hit those in particular. But
Ooh, okay. A little bit of like a timing type of stack there.
timing it with the hypers.
Very chill, slow part. I feel like there's probably something coming up, right? It says stay calm as the diff name. I didn't even realize that.
Even the diff name advises you for the last part.
Okay. Overall, it doesn't seem like anything, you know, too tricky. You know, it still feels like it's certainly in like the realm of a Nomad 3.
Coming into the stream section here, we do see the spacings getting a bit wider.
Yeah, definitely a lot more precision here. Okay.
Overall, nothing too crazy for a Nomad 3. Just a lot of precision through a lot of those stacks is going to be the main skill set here. Can definitely see this as a practice map for some, figuring out just the perfect way to consistently hit a lot of these cut stacks.
Yeah, not that bad. I think overall, like the slow parts obviously like kind of lose their difficulty, but you know, it kind of makes up for it with these like stack parts. I honestly think the hardest part in that is from what I seen that those like four note 1/12 bursts at the beginning there where you have to kind of drag your catcher along. It seems rather harsh for the beginning, but overall I think it's very maintainable to get a
Yeah,
FC on if you practice for sure.
It's very adaptable. Listen to CTB Whitecat.
Listen to your boy, yeah.
Okay, moving on to Nomad
So,
4.
move on, Kana. So, do you want to pronounce this, or do you want me to do my last like 10 seconds of improv practice to pronounce this title?
I want you to do your last 10 seconds of improv practice.
All right, let's go. Let's see here. We are on Ryoku Oshoku Shakai Hananinate.
Damn!
I'm learning, buddy.
Yeah.
Don't damn anymore. I'm improving.
That's what I'm saying. He felt bad for me getting clip farmed last year. Can we get an applause for CTB Whitecat? Beautiful pronunciation.
Thank you, buddy. I'm moving up in the world. Anyways,
Now,
this is Nomad 4. There's the converts, of course. You gotta have the convert. Contains apparently a bit of everything. I mean, so far it doesn't seem too harsh, but the main portion of this difficulty is going to come from the really tight jumps. So I feel it might be a little bit similar to Nomad 3 or the convert and the qualifiers, right?
it'll be similar. We definitely have been taking a direction of having converts that include a bit more content within them, other than simply jumpy converts. There seemed to be the ones that we chose that did have more streams included and such, seem to generally be seen as more enjoyable. And with this one specifically, it does take a similar approach as qualifiers by having a lot of these streams, having some difficult jumps and such. And as well, for the sake of transparency, we are being more direct about how much we have changed a convert. And this one, we changed very little. There were only 2 jumps that we classified as being too harsh. Song's also the greatest anime opening of all time. I said it. I had to say it. It just
I don't
is.
even know what. I don't even. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's on
Okay.
you, buddy. I don't even
No,
know
that's okay.
what this is. I just see this background being very provocative.
What?
Very. I mean, dude.
Hey,
I'm
man.
playing ETB, man. I don't want to see something like this on my tournament. Is there a break in this map?
It's rankable.
It is rankable.
Yeah, it is rankable. I think there's there's this break, if you count this.
It doesn't show the background, though, so we're good.
Yeah. You can count that too.
That's a crazy vocal.
That's what I'm saying. Have to grace the map pool with the greatest anime opening song of all time.
So I did pronounce that right.
Yeah,
Let's go, dude.
that's what I like. I'm telling you, I know this song. Your pronunciation was beautiful.
That's crazy.
I think it also goes to show that you will not be clip farmed for that. But I definitely would have been.
I got you, buddy.
Thank you. But overall, bit of streams, mostly jumps are where the difficulty will stem from, but there are a few turnarounds as well. It definitely is the standard that we're trying to push this year, just having a lot of content in the convert. All right, gonna be Hidden One, Sing a Song, mapped by Luminate. And with our ones of the round, our No Mod 1, Hidden 1, Hard Rock 1, consistency is the key. We are in round of 32 here. So we are going to see a lot of these high spacing hyper dashes as our consistency test of the round. We're going to see some double hypers. You're going to be jumping around the screen a lot as you bounce from hyper to hyper. Something that Luminate as a mapper is very familiar with in a lot of the songs that they do map. As well as being Swing. Swing Hidden 1. Banger.
That is true. Swing on Hidden has always felt, at least very challenging for me. I'm very glad I didn't have to go in for Hidden on the qualifiers. That would have been a nightmare.
Really?
But, yeah, this kind of reminds me of, that one dragon map from Spectator?
Caravan Palace.
Caravan Palace. I mean, with the swing here, reminds me a little bit like this. Obviously, a lot less in terms of difficulty, but the 1/3 swing here.
Yeah, so you could compare it to the step-by-step as well. Just
Yes,
not
like
as difficult. Yeah.
Baby step by step.
Yeah, it's been an entire year since we saw step-by-step. It got married, had a kid, and this is the kid.
Yeah, well...
Sing a song. Yeah.
I gotta say, the kid's pretty mid.
What?
You could be playing piano and, I don't know, being Mozart by the age of 4, bro. I don't know.
Wow. I think you just don't like anime music.
Yeah, you're very much right.
Okay. Jumping into the other Ki, just a ton of double hypers overall. Just leading to very, soft choke points. We are also going to see a few stops in the middle of some of these sliders, where you're just either going to want to let go of movement or dash for just a second before jumping right back into it.
Yeah, very dash heavy map. Insanely. I mean, just looking at the inputs of whoever played this replay, he actually has more dash spam than movement keys.
Now, speaking of which, Hua is a first-time test player from Hong Kong, and they have been doing so well. I really want to thank them for this replay. Having this little anti-flow section here. I believe that's the most consecutive anti-flows in the map, is that point right there specifically, right before the end. Can definitely see some choke points there if a player is stressing out with how good they're doing on the map.
Yeah, I'll definitely play nerves here. Ooh. And you think we'll see a spin to win on that ever?
No, it's hidden.
Hey, dude, you never know, man.
You know what? You're right.
Swing like that, if you practice it, I think you could definitely get a down pat. Not me, but some people out there for sure.
I think you could. I think you should
Okay,
try.
yeah, you'll see me hitting one.
All right,
Anyway,
you heard it here
move
first.
on.
CTB Whitecat, hidden one.
Yeah, okay, let's move on, buddy. Yeah.
All right, now let's see if he can hidden two.
Oh no.
All right, gonna be Battle Junction. Was very interested to see this song at first, but this is definitely going to be matching the grounds of what some people expect from Hidden 2. Having it be it round of 32, we are going to see a lot more consistent aesthetics as well as spacings here. And with this map in particular, it's going to be a collab between Xerox and Des9. Only the two greatest mappers in the world. All my Des9 fans.
Yep. Shout out Des9. This is actually his first contribution to CWC. This collab with Xerox.
Yeah, there are so many Des9 fans out there.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan personally of his Daddy Yankee work. He's done a lot. Very happy to see him stepping up for CWC here.
Now, his first appearance, and certainly not the last. But with this map in particular, about to get into our Ki section here. Bit of a soft wiggle there. Coming into some higher space dashes here. Pairing it with the taps. A bit more content in this map, I would say, than Hidden 1. But the spacings aren't too far with the dashes. I wouldn't exactly call them edgy. And I think this is something that becomes apparent if you do test it with no mod, if you aren't Hidden proficient.
Yeah, overall playing right into place with the Hidden 2 gimmick for sure. I think this is, this is my kryptonite. The worst of the worst in terms of how I would play. But I don't know, maybe we'll see CTP Whitecat Hidden Arc. What do you think?
That's what I think. You're gonna practice Hidden 1. Yeah, you're gonna play Hidden 1 and be like, wait, that wasn't that bad. And then you're gonna play Hidden 2. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I once seen XGod actually say, if Fuhi decided to step up to playing low AR Hidden like he did IRL, then he would become the best in the world, and that is a lot to live up to. So needless to say, I name changed to CTP Whitecat, and Fuhi does not exist anymore, so we're on to a new chapter.
That is the fakest quote I've heard all year.
Okay, how about you search it up, buddy, and go find it yourself.
You know what? I will, but that's a discussion for another time.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll find it on Reddit. All right, jumping into Hard Rock 1. Going to be Mission ASCII by Yoshi Green, 10-year operation. Now, very few players may actually remember this song, as this was No Mod 5 back in CWC 2015 group stage, back when there were actually 6 no mods per pool. I'm very curious who in chat actually remembers this song or has heard it before. But in particular, Yoshi Green being the one who mapped this, it's a big callback where he pressed the boss key and minimized during match, unfortunately.
No.
Yeah, he remembers his own boss key incident 10 years after. It just goes to show how traumatizing that might be. As for the map itself, I had to give the lore. This map has a lot of lore to it. We are going to see once again, matching with all of our ones, we are going to see a lot of consistency here. And we see that with a lot of these kind of cut streams. Streams that aren't too long and don't last for too long. And also having some soft HR placement. The note in between the streams that's non-hypered is going to be the biggest one that you see frequently.
Yeah, unironically, I feel like this is more streamy than the Christ and Combat Hard Rock 1 that we had in qualifiers. I feel like this has a lot more streams to it in terms of the length. Like, I feel like we only saw one massive stream at the very end in the Hard Rock 1 qualifiers when it was just like a big burst of notes, 1/8. So, I mean, honestly, this might play into be maybe a little bit more difficult in terms of density, but that's just my take.
Yeah, we are going to see the soft density, but we do have the one stream buildup right there before jumping right back in. Yeah, still seeing some notes of those of HR displacement. Doing the best to not stray too far away to be an instant choke point. But just forces you to just pay attention as you're playing through this. Just to make sure you don't goof up.
Connor, did you know that this map had a higher star rating without Hard Rock?
I did! Yoshi Green design! He put a lot of time into designing the HR placement to make it feasible. And there are a lot of edge dashes with no mod. I think
I show you how finicky Hard Rock randomization can be, right?
I think for reference, I A ranked with no mod. So try at your leisure. Or expense, you decide.
Could fit for a no mod 3.
Oh! We'll reuse. Alright, gonna be Miku again. 2 rounds in a row. Going to be Uni Heartbeat, mapped by Ken. This is going to be our precision Hard Rock of the round. Now, since we are moving away from qualifiers, the Hard Rock 2s aren't going to be merged. So we have this one more explicitly tied to precision, rather than ultimately combining mechanics as well. And it is also above 5.5 stars, to those who have been counting. And
Connor, it only says 4.2 on the screen.
oh, that's not what I see. Oh wait, it is what I see. Holy moly!
Blunder.
Blunder. That's getting clip farmed. No, I'm getting clip farmed in round of 32. It's over.
We ain't that big yet, Chief.
No, you're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
wait till GF, man.
Yeah, I'll wait till GF, man. But ultimately, the map's biggest thing is having CS all the way up at 5.7, what I originally misread. Which is going to cause a lot of these timing windows for each note to be lowered quite a bit. You'll see some cross-screen big dashes, as well as just some funky streams.
Yeah, and it's worth noting that after several test plays and checks for modding the map was actually barely changed. Actually, matter of fact, it needed no changes at all. So that's pretty impressive for 2.5 minute map for, you know, the biggest tournament in Catch to not need any changes. So big shout out to Ken there.
Yeah, just one of those mappers that can execute this in such a way. He is so well versed in CWC mapping. It's incredible what you can do with so much experience. Gonna have the key change. Gonna keep the flow going. Oh, and we also have another first-time replayer, Lavi Sorrow,
Oh, I didn't
assisting
even know.
with
You're
test
right.
playing the map. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's very-
Slavi has been helping out recently a lot as well. He actually just joined the Project Love team, so he's been definitely helping a lot behind the scenes recently. So big shout out to him too.
I just got sent a clip, by the way, of what I messed up earlier. Just
Oh,
throwing
yeah.
that out there. It's already over. All right, going into GT1. Yeah, don't laugh. I'm doing my best. Okay, gonna have
I'm not laughing.
gonna have consistency DT. Gonna be Nanambitsuki Visualization by Hex. Hex also being a first-time mapper. All my Hex fans rise up. I absolutely loved this map in particular. Hex being primarily known for platter mapping in particular gave him a perfect opportunity to map a DT map for us here. Now there are some rhythmic changes that require some slight control, but apart from that, we're going to be seeing a lot of consistency here. We have the 1/3 sections blended in.
I mean, there's definitely chances to make that a lot harder, but yeah, for the sake of round 32, it's very comfy, and overall it just looks like a very simple map.
We do have those jumps there, just a bit tricky. Definitely need to be focused up. If we compare this to last year's DT1, we did raise the AR up to 8.5 rather than leaving it at 8.4. Decision definitely came from the map feeling a bit overly dense. Not something that most players would see realistically in a modern setting.
Yeah, but I mean, the 0.1 can definitely make like a bigger difference, you know, especially as you go up in terms of your DT1s, especially in the later stages.
Coming into our last chorus here. Going to have some longer drag sliders. We see that double 3-note stream as well.
Ooh, that was a bit far.
Yeah, just one final burst before ending the map.
That too, yeah. Very small spinner at the end there as well. I'm curious if we will see any spin to wins. I really hope we do, because it'll be good content, but we'll have to see.
We add it for the content, you know.
All
That's
for
the
content.
priority. Yeah, it's all for content. All right, gonna be DT2, gonna be another Xerox map. Going to be a Turtle's Heart mapped by Millie. Wait, mapped by Xerox, made by Millie.
Ooh,
Hey, stop! And it's gonna be a Control DT2.
you're good, man.
Yeah.
You're good.
And this is going to be our very low AR DT. This is actually AR 7.8 without DT. And we are going back to the swing for our control map. And with this map in particular, it focuses on a lot of snappy movements. As well as this map is so low combo that it can definitely be seen as one of the riskier picks. Check the clock up there, we're already almost halfway done.
Yeah, one of these misses could probably take away, what, at least 50k? Maybe
At
40?
least 50k.
Yeah, that's very brutal. I don't know what the stats were for the DT2 qualifier, but I remember if you got one miss on the DT2, you would lose almost like 50k. I would swear it was brutal.
Now this map, once again, being very clean in its aesthetics, but still actually quite risky. Even having some downtime here, too. One of those maps
Really
where the
very
spinner
risky.
can easily matter. I believe if we were to see a spin to win map, it would be this one.
Connor, I feel like I've seen this song somewhere, and I don't know where.
Well, you'd be right. I'm gonna call you an old player for a second, but there is another map of this song that was ranked in 2016 by Craw, and I'm sure that's where you've seen it. Yeah, that's
Okay,
right.
Call me old is wild, but to be fair, you're not even wrong, dude. Like,
Yep.
I'm coming up on 10 years of this game, man.
Wow! Congratulations, man! You're here
You know,
forever.
Hey, buddy. Oh man. Anyways, honestly, yeah, that might be one of the harder maps I've seen so far in the pool. Just the swing, especially with the low AR, like AR 7.8 with DT, with swing being 1/3. Oh my. It's definitely a lot more of a precision nightmare for sure.
All right, going to be moving into our DT3 Ewan. going to be... Oh, do you want to clip farm this, or is this me?
What is this, buddy? I didn't even look at the title. Oh no, that's all you, man.
All right.
That's all you. I don't even know. Like,
All right.
go ahead.
Shukufuku Saretase, or in other words, the confusion mapped by Ewan, going to be our stream density map. This
No,
is
that's
going...
Aura.
Yeah.
Right as the break stops, too. Absolute cinema, Connor. Thank you for utilizing that break really well there.
Of course. Greatly appreciated. All me. AR still kind of low. It's going to be at a midpoint between DT 1 and 2. Going to be 8.1 without DT. And also going to be the lowest CS at 3.3. And we're going to see a lot of these kind of soft 5-note streams and soft turnarounds to emphasize the idea of kind of testing early game DT streams by having some stop movements, some tap movements. And that'll ultimately be the most apparent in the key eyes here.
Yeah, this looks like it's just as brutal on terms of movement like the Xerox DT we just seen there, the DT2. Especially this part here. A lot of turnarounds, as you would say. But overall, a lot of dash spam as well from whoever is playing this. Obviously, you know, the new GOAT, awfully fake bleh. I can't even see the last of their name, but I don't know if this is blessed. I don't know.
That's a good question.
Oh, awfully fake blessing. The new GOAT of DT, apparently. That's wild.
Do you know who that is?
Nope.
Really? Really? All right. What's the first letter of the first word?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my. Really? Old man AFB stepping up once again to give a replay. No way. That's AFB.
Of
That's
course
crazy.
it's AFB. Of course. He has never lost his stuff. I thought you were messing with me.
That's crazy. He still got it. You know, the classic saying, Unk still got it, and that holds true for at least round of 32.
Yeah, it's the classic XCon quote. AFB still got it.
Yeah, on Reddit, yeah. Totally.
Yeah, on Reddit. I'll find it after. I'll send it to you. All right, gonna move into our mixed mod pool. First time seeing mixed mod in CWC. It's gonna be right here. It's gonna be a map that many of you have probably seen before. This is gonna be Euclid. Spectator's Overdose. Gonna be our hybrid no mod. Wanting to try and use some existing maps this year to lighten the workload, and this is going to be our first instance of that with an existing specific. I hope y'all can understand. We've kept the full customs for essentially ever since I've been an advisor for 2 years. And we're just wanting to make it a little bit easier on our end, you could say.
Yeah, one thing to point out immediately is that this is storyboarded from the looks of it. With these flashbangs, it looks like, trying to make it very dramatic for a round of 32.
And we have a
banger
very soft
song.
story. Yeah. Very soft storyboard, have some particles in the back, have that, oh man, I don't know what that thing's called at the top.
2013 looking audio,
Yep.
like, yeah, kind of
Yeah.
waveform. I don't know what it is. How you would describe that?
Anybody musically gifted in the chat that can tell us what that thing at the top is?
Yeah, anybody know Mozart in the chat?
Yeah. Any Beethoven fans in the chat? I'm pretty sure Beethoven used one of these back in the day. Visualizer.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's visualizer, you get it?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a visualizer, right? Because he was deaf, right?
Yeah, he had to see it somehow.
Oh wait, that's called a visualizer?
Yeah,
Oh,
the thing at the
okay.
top, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Anyways, for me, this, dude, I don't know why. This song reminds me of that one song that I feel like all the new kids on the block are DTing now. It's the... What's it called? It was a spec map back in the day. It's a Specs Overdose. I'll have to look it up on my own time, but this song sounds very old to me.
The song has been around for a long time.
Yeah, this part.
And I do want to keep in mind this is a CWC edit, and for the sake of being able to allow it to fit round to 32, we did make a CS adjustment and lower it to 4, and adjusted the hypers to make sure that they exist, as well as removing the spin trap. We did want to showcase this with Hard Rock in particular, as there is some semi-decent Hard Rock randomization that we're allowing with this map. We can see it messing with a few of the sliders for sure. But apart from that, this is going to be a very consistent map, as you can see. And yeah, that is going to be our first mixed mod of the pool. I absolutely love this map personally. I'm happy we found a place for it. It has been used in CWC in 2018, and it's making its callback. Has a long history of being here. Just had to bring it back one more time. Alright, gonna be Mixed Mod 2. High quality background, as you can see.
That
A
is
cat
crazy.
I know.
Is that real?
That is real. You can Google this image, and unfortunately, Google has censored the OSU off of the image, so you'll only see the cat on the computer screen. But this is the real image that we managed to find, once again, on Reddit. It does include the fan art.
On Reddit. Great.
On Reddit. It
Like
showcased their
Reddit's
first.
the paradise.
Yeah.
Seems like a Reddit sponsor. Can we get sponsored by Reddit?
I think that's something we can push for. Now with this mix mod, we're going with the swing. You gotta love the swing. Just
yeah.
a perfect deviator. But it is definitely
AFK swing.
It is definitely less swingy than Hidden 1 and DP2. Just pairing it with the lower BPM, it's not as readily apparent. And it's also not very dense because of that as well. Only being 110. Just gonna see a lot of the more snappy hypers rather than the consistent jumpy ones. Unless you're key-eyed.
Yeah, some of these droplets look awfully, like, hard to go for. Some of them feel like you have to deviate your movement in, like, a really awkward way.
Yeah, we have our super hype build-up section.
Wow, hype.
Boom. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, bait and
There we
switch.
go. That's crazy. Yeah, that got me, buddy.
Yeah, I had you for a second. Yeah.
My eyes are like the cat in the background now, dude. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Wait, is that a CDB White Cat reference?
How'd you... Oh, he got it.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
You should know. That's you in the background.
Okay, buddy. Real cheeky.
Only for you.
Alright, mate. God, these droplets, dude.
The droplets are a little
Dark.
brutal. Yeah, this is one of those that's
We got
definitely...
our simple man Fob on the duty here, of course.
Yeah, had to call him up. Hello, Mushy Mushy. Please SS this map. And he performed!
Yeah, and he delivered.
We paid him for shipping and everything.
Okay. A little too far, buddy. It's just
All right.
CWC.
Yep, just CWC. And also our
lifestyle.
first tiebreaker of
I'm
CWC.
excited, buddy. I'm excited.
Gonna be DM Decoro. No
I
hints
thought
here.
You're gonna make a sick build up there, but wait, fire and ice.
Yes.
Isn't that like classic rhythm game?
Yes, this is a classic rhythm game. DM Decoro is very nice about his usage for songs, so we do have permission to use this. And this song in particular is a variety-filled song. Those who know the original chart will know exactly what I'm talking about. But we are going to see a ton of songs in one with this tiebreaker.
This BPM feels like it's shifting everywhere.
It is! There is a timing point approximately every 15 seconds.
Yeah, that feels definitely very brutal on trying to time your jumps here, especially with these like snaps here. I don't even know what like snapping that is. Is that 1/6? Not this.
Yeah, gonna have a bit of an
Snapping
anti-flow
just
section.
changing all over the place.
Yeah, some anti-flow here. Back to normal. Heavy rock.
Why is this feels like a schizophrenic playlist from like SoundCloud or something, dude? What the?
Yeah, now it's back to normal.
That's crazy.
Boom.
What is that?
That's what I'm saying. This song is the ultimate mashup, all things considered.
That banjo?
I do not think that's banjo.
Dude. Da Vinci?
We got our little lo-fi slowdown as well.
Is this
the best part.
elevator music?
Yes, this is elevator music.
This is absolute cinema. Wow. This is probably the most unique tiebreaker I've seen so far, that I mean, at least I've witnessed.
We do have an elevation here.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Did someone let Rockman in the chat? What the?
Yeah. Those sliders are
Well,
large.
those actually look really. That actually is definitely a bit difficult looking.
Yeah, have these one-off taps. Got our DNB.
Ah, damn. Look kind of like an Oma 2 there. What?
We got our full-flavored acoustic lo-fi.
What?
And then back to
Only
normal. There you
halfway
go.
through. This song feels like it's 10 minutes long, man, because of how many changes there are to the song. Like, what is this? What?
We do get a build-up portion.
Is this like a boss fight?
Yeah, this is it. This is what it's building up to.
These look really far, by the way. Unless I'm just like tripping out. Okay,
You're
not
tripping
this.
out, bro. Yeah.
Oh, am I in the Matrix? What the? No, those are far, man. What?
No. You just dashed through.
Okay.
All right, BPM increase. The variety sections become a bit faster, a bit tougher. Got our super streaming Nomad 1!
Actually, it's kind of cool that this would be a tiebreaker with all these different like sections. In terms of like different skills as well. Bit of precision.
Yeah, we definitely can see an elevation moving into the second half of this map.
Elevation, I'm gonna have to use that. So as you can see, it's getting more elevated here at these BPM getting faster.
We have
Look, there's a
unrankable
cool
sliders.
wiggly slider there.
Yeah. May or may not be a reference to the original chart. But it is sadly unrankable, but we're gonna use it here. Gonna have some cut-through wiggle streams here. Big choke point.
Good amount of turnarounds here.
Gonna have our guitar solo.
That's nice. Simple 1/8 streams there. Just a chill spinner part.
Yeah. Now nothing else
and a
happens for the
break.
rest of the song. Yeah. It's just gonna wind down.
Say that in a very strange manner, by the way.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no tells.
Where's your sip, dude?
Oh yeah.
Where's your sip of Deceived?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yep.
Absurdly foggy brain.
What's the first letter, bro?
I know.
Yeah. Super high
whoa.
BPM here.
Hey, double.
This is our
speed there.
burst.
Although it looks, yeah. Oh wow, this part looks definitely a bit of a choke point. For round. Oh, little wiggle there at the end.
Yeah, little wiggle at the end. That is
Don't
going
see
to
that
be our.
coming.
That is going to be our first tiebreaker. An absolute blast. I loved test playing this map because originally I was asked to assist with one section, so I just jumped to it and I'm like, oh, this song's really like chill. That's weird. And then I keep listening to it and I'm like, this is the craziest song I've ever heard in my life. So
Yeah, there was
huge-
no. Sorry there.
No,
Go-
you
go ahead, buddy.
No, all you.
You go ahead.
All right. So, yeah, definitely one of the craziest tiebreaker songs I've heard. And I do appreciate Bunray stepping up to the task to map such a song that diverges in so many different ways.
You done, buddy?
Yeah.
All
All
right,
you,
sick. Yeah, that was awesome, guys. Yeah, I was gonna add a bit more. I can't believe that there's so many styles in this one tiebreaker. I feel like a lot of the. What am I listening to?
This is the second half of the tiebreaker.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. This is crazy. I didn't know that there's a long break like this. Anyways, I'm just more happy that there are so many different styles in the tiebreaker like that, especially for round of 32. There was no real breaks in that map as well, worth mentioning. The break was only pretty much at the end. And, like, everything was done. So, might play into a little bit of stamina there. I don't know if you've got, you know, if you don't have those hands built for stamina. And, yeah, that's pretty much it.
I think it could definitely be one to play at least a few times to make it through. The nerves can really get you on the second half if you aren't prepared for it. But that
This
does
might
it.
be one of the real tiebreakers to actually practice for, and not just, you know, YOLO play at the end because you didn't expect to get, you know, to the TV.
CTV Whitecat would never.
No, CTV Whitecat would, and he would FC.
Wow.
That's bold. I know.
Yeah.
I hope we don't get TB. I really don't.
I hope you get TV.
I hope we don't. Okay.
You said content was the priority. You, CTV Whitecat, said that. I already quoted it and put it on Reddit. So we already know that you said that.
Okay.
And that's what we're going to go for. And that does it for us for round of 32 Mappool Showcase. As always, I've been saying this for years and I'll say it again. Check the wiki page for all of your questions, comments, and concerns. There are people willing to help you if you need help organizing your scheduled match and or time. And also, to all of those playing, we do get to reveal where the Yoshis were in qualifiers very soon.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That's right. Keep your eyes open in our Yoshi Hunt channel in the Discord so that you can see if you found all of the Yoshis of the round.
I bet you it's in the cat photo. It just feels too, like, photoshopped to not be. 'Cause,
Oh,
like, we did some stuff there, 100%.
all right. CTV Whitecat's on to something.
Okay, at this point, please just call me Fooey, dude.
All right. I made him cave, ladies and gentlemen. It was his idea, by the way. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. But that's going to do it from us from the desk. Congratulations to all the teams that qualified. And if you did not qualify, it is still amazing that you participated and got to show off what your country was capable of. I hope to see the countries that played next year once again and hope that they join us. This qualifiers has been incredibly intense already, and we've gotten to see a lot of changes from many of the teams. and it's been phenomenal to see the changes in performance and overall rosters of all these different countries as they come together for this year's World Cup. The amount of people that have joined us this year is absolutely amazing, and I'm very grateful that we have so many people joining us this year.
Yeah, some really unique Titan teams. There's definitely names here that I haven't seen since at least 2022. I'm very happy to see Totobus as well coming back. I didn't think he would ever come back, but I'm very happy to see him come back. And Team France looks like Titans. Russia is crazy. Obviously, US still. I'm more curious to see if US can hold their ground with podium, especially with Italy coming back. I didn't even think Italy would come back, but they decided to come back. I'm surprised those old farts did not quit, but they're still here, and we're all still here. So I think that's a wrap, Kana.
Yeah, that is a wrap, Mr. Fuhi.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's gonna do it from us. We will see you all this weekend for some amazing round of 32 matches, and hopefully a Canadian tiebreaker, as promised by CTV Whitecap.
No, please.
And then I will be right back here for round of 16 Mappool Showcase in a week's time. Thank you all for joining us.
Peace. Buy a banner. Bye-bye.